Hello everybody, greetings from one of my favorite trails in Olympic National Park. This is the trail to Marymere Falls. It's only 1.5 miles from Lake Crescent Lodge to the waterfall, and this is where I bring people on my nature immersion retreats. And it occurred to me today that I have never walked this trail by myself because I've always been guiding and leading other people here. This is a wonderful opportunity because it's getting into the season, deeper into fall, and as you can see the colors behind me, I invite you to follow along for this exquisite nature immersion experience that I have for you today. I'm about to cross over this bridge and I want to invite you to participate in one of my favorite activities. You see, bridges in nature, whether they're human-made or naturally made, this one's human obviously, they represent an opportunity to let go of things, to leave things on this side of the river. And I've made friends with this cedar tree here behind me, and I've asked the cedar tree to take things away from me that I no longer need. And today this walk is about self-sufficiency, about living and feeling and breathing and understanding and trusting that I'm enough. And so you can join me with that if you'd like, in living and breathing and trusting that you are enough for whatever you need, whatever you can face, you can handle. Let the water wash it away as I walk across this bridge. And I invite you to join me. Imagine something that you might want to leave. Ask the cedar tree to take away from you right now. Something that no longer serves you. Maybe it's a fear or a doubt. And the beauty of being in nature and making a nature connection is that nature is here and willing to help you with that. Okay, so I've offered the things I'd like to leave behind to the cedar tree. The cedar tree has said yes, and hopefully you have done the same thing. And I invite you to walk across the bridge with me and imagine that cedar tree, which is behind me there, that kind cedar tree is going to hold that back. And imagine there's a little bit of resistance as those things that you gave to the cedar tree are being pulled back so that you can move forward. And imagine that all of that is being left behind as you walk across the bridge into what's next for you in this experience. And here on the other side of the bridge, just imagine that you're opening up to even more in this experience. You're opening up to even more about yourself. This is a great trail to remind me about self-sufficiency. And I'll let you take in your own When I open up my heart to self-sufficiency, like the work that I am doing today here, I look for symbols. I look for things that help me remind myself that I am enough. And this is one of my favorite scenes on this trail for self-sufficiency, because this tree has built a life clinging to this rock, but really has had to make it happen against the odds. What have you done to make things happen against the odds? How have you shown up in the world? How do you want to show up in the world? Maybe you have something coming up that feels like it's against the odds. You can ask the tree for help or for wisdom or for information, just the same as you can ask yourself for that power within. Even the ferns here have created a life in an unlikely spot. There's lots of different ways that you can incorporate the symbol of the sword fern into this practice of deepening with your nature connection. How are you like the sword fern? How can the sword fern be a reminder for you? Where can the sword fern help you in your life? You may even want to ask a question to the fern, like, where am I too sharp? Where am I not willing to accept help in my life? There's lots of different questions, and it's just unique to you and your own experience and how you're choosing to show up today in this nature immersion experience. These rocks were carried down the mountains, the Olympic Mountains, by glaciers 13,000 years ago. They've been here for a long, long, long time. And just imagine all the things that they have seen here, all of the different peoples over 13,000 years, all the different kinds of vegetation and trees that have come and gone, and fire and animals. And they play host to moss and lichen and the roots of trees. And what do you play host to in your life? How are you like these rocks? rain falls down on the leaves, the moss, the ferns, like tears of unrealized dreams. Cleanses all of the green, all of the creation, as if to say, more is on the way. More creativity, more innovation, more of the understanding, of the deep understanding of self-reliance. The tears of the past can be helpful to reveal the creativity for the future and the openness to the outcome of the life that's ahead. May the drops continue to cleanse the creativity. May they continue to wash away the pains and the sadnesses of the past, of unrealized expectations. May they wash away the disappointment. May they fuel and may they feed, may they water prolific growth, new creativity, new openness, a new trust, and a new love. Can't go very far in this forest without noticing the moss, and in particular today, as the water rains down, I think the moss is really happy, sopping up all of the droplets. And rain and water can symbolize emotions, and I am thinking about my emotions. As the water falls, I'm thinking about emotions that I have of unrealized dreams in my past, unstymied creativity or innovation, and how I can allow those emotions to flow, to wash away, how I can be like the moss. And I can hold on to those emotions, but when there's a little bit too much liquid, it can flow away, it can drip away. And I think the green is creativity, and I love the imagery of the roots growing into the rocks, because that's empowerment. How do these symbols reach you today? What might the moss symbolize in your life, in the water droplets, in the green of creativity? Where are you creative in your life today, and where do you want to be creative? May you deepen your connection to nature. May the moss, and the green, and the roots of the trees, and the bark, and all the textures and colors inspire you to open up to something new, to something good and true and beautiful today in your life. And I also encourage you to go out in nature. 20 minutes a day is enough to change the trajectory of your life in terms of wellness, awakening, and healing. It's enough to remind you of our ancestral linkage to the natural world, that our bodies understand that everything in nature is interdependent, which means you belong. You belong here. Everything in nature is always changing, which means you're resilient. What you can face, you can handle. And everything in nature has a purpose, and you have a purpose. Thank you for joining me today for this nature immersion experience in the beauty, the wet beauty of Marymere Falls Trail in the Olympic National Park. I'll see you down the road. Take care.